This is a story about some strange things happening at the hospital. Each of us knows that in hospitals there were many stories of birth, old age, sickness, and death. My story is that of a department. The department was the ICU area, or we also called it the intensive care unit. The people who lived there were all seriously ill. It could be said that all patients there had been through the gates of hell once or several times. My friend was in charge of that department, so I also heard a few special stories. The story my friend told me was that there was an old man surnamed Chen who had just had a tumor removed by a doctor, and the old man was pushed into the ICU. The surgery went well and the old man woke up quickly, but when he woke up, the old man's voice suddenly became strange. He didn't even recognize his children when they were standing beside him. Moreover, he said that he was a different person now, and stranger than that was that he even gave another person's home address and the family background. All of this confused his children, as they were extremely worried about him without knowing if this was supernatural or some after effect from surgery. The doctor said that there was indeed someone with the same condition as described who was in this room before, but that person passed away. The doctor was also surprised to hear all this information. He thought that maybe the old man was having problems after surgery. When the doctor tried to explain to Mr. Shen's children what had happened, they couldn't believe it or understand anything. They could only listen to the doctor's observations and monitoring during the treatment. The old man had another very strange thing that night, that he did not sleep, but talked into the air as if no one was listening. There were voices and laughter as if there were real people in front of him. Symptoms lasted for several days like this. One night when the old man surnamed Lu was lying on the bed next to him, he heard a noise. When Mr. Lu was lying on the bed, he looked back and saw people gathering by the old man's bed. These people didn't have their faces cleared out. Their appearance might have been fake, or they were ghosts. Suddenly there was a lot of noise both inside and outside the bed he was lying on. He was so scared that he did not dare to make a sound and could only lie still on the bed pretending to be asleep. It was almost morning when the men took away a person who had lived in Mr. Shen's bed a few days ago but had died right before he took the bed over. The next day, two children came to see and visit Mr. Shen. Then Mr. Lu suddenly realized that Shen was still lying on the bed, but also talking normally. As nothing strange had happened, he said something. He said that maybe a few days ago Mr. Shen's bed had a dead person lying there, so he gained their memories. Yesterday, they came to take him away. He also had no recollection of what he heard the patient in the next bed moaning like he couldn't breathe. He turned his head and glanced vaguely, seeing something like a black figure squatting on Mr. Lu's body, and then gradually overwhelming his body, making it extremely difficult for him to breathe. Mr. Shen desperately wanted to call for help but could not make a sound or move. He couldn't move until the physical signs alarm went off and the nurse came to check on him. The patient in the next bed passed away that night. He told the nurse what he saw, but the nurse didn't believe him at all, so the old man told his children. The kids were so scared that they went to the doctor again and asked what was going on. The doctor said that this phenomenon was quite unique and was caused by different reasons that would affect the patient's recovery. After being in the ICU for a few days, he was transferred to the general ward. There was no such thing as a weird going, as to whether being in the ICU was really a commonplace. And in this world, there are supernatural things that happen, so we don't dare to lie.